and gentlemen, coming not live to you from my basement, it's Brian. Hey guys, I'm Brian. I'm going to be your host and commentator for this walkthrough here, and I decided that I want to do some Dark Souls, because after a lot of thought about which game to do next, I realized that I know this one extremely well, and I don't know, I think it's going to be a really good, brisk one. I'm going to probably end up trying to do one for another game in the meantime as well, but we'll see how that goes. I'm not entirely sure, but without further ado, and I'm going to do my best to explain the story to this game because they don't really give you much to go off of, but I don't know, it's some crazy stuff. Anyways, here we go. Actually, hold on, I forgot about all this shit. I'm going to go ahead and do brightness all the way up, that way you guys can see. And everything else looks good. Now we get to make our guy. Character name. I'm going to go with... Oh, I can't. I was going to say I'm going to go with e.m.o.b.r.i.a.n. Nah, I can't put the stupid dash there. This is some bullshit. Alright. You know, I'll just go with Brian. Or how about Bri Guy? Bri Guy. There we go. We'll go with Bri Guy. Sex is gonna be a dude. His class. Alright, so class is only your starting loadout for the game, like as far as stats and equipment goes. It's not a defining thing for your character. You can actually adjust you can turn a warrior into a sorcerer easily over the course of a few levels. But I'm going to give you a quick rundown of these. The warrior's pretty good for a basic starter player. He's got solid armor and shield, sword, all that. And the stats are pretty decent, kind of all around. The knight is good for tanking. He has a lot of health. He has the most health out of all these guys to start. And he has a really shitty roll though, because he's wearing really heavy armor and you have to build up his endurance to make his roll better. But it's good for, you know, if you plan on taking a lot of hits, be the knight. The Wanderer's kind of a more, I don't know, for players that are more versed in the game, a higher level player, it's just a dexterity based character. The Thief is also a dexterity based character, and it comes with the Master Key, which is one of the starting gifts that I'm going to get into right after this. Really low health and all that though. Bandit's just, I don't know, kind of a variation of the Warrior. The Hunter is a bow or ranged dexterity based character. He starts with the bow if you want to use him. The Sorcerer is obviously a sorcerer, or he's versed in sorceries, so he's the sorcery spellcaster class. The Pyromancer is the pyromancer casting class, and I'll explain the difference between sorcery and pyromancy here in a sec. The Cleric is the miracle casting class right here, and the Deprived is a class with really good stats but very terrible armor. And I did the math at one point, and I think the Deprived, based on their level, because they all start at different levels, like 6, 2, 1, 3, 4, whatever, the Deprived starts at level 6 and the Pyromancer starts at level 1. And I think when I did all the stats, like calculations, the Pyromancer had only maybe -1 stat compared to the Deprived, or maybe they had equal amount of stats, I don't know. But in that research, I'm going to go with the Pyromancer just because I can start off with a bunch of better, all the equipment, like really good equipment. These gifts, you get to pick a gift at the beginning of the game. You can also pick to not use a gift. Don't get God's Blessing. You'll get 3 of them, but they're one-time uses, so you'll waste your gift on that. The Black Fire Bomb is also a one-time use. You get 10 of them, and you get to throw them at enemies. They deal splash damage, that sort of thing. Twin Humanities is a one-time use. It's just going to give you 2 Humanities, which I will get into, and don't worry, we'll be getting plenty of those. Don't get the Binoculars, because you get those right at the beginning. The Pendant, you can trade for an item, which isn't really worth it. I think it's a ring or something. It's not necessarily worth it, though. I wouldn't pick the Pendant. The Master Key is probably what we're going to go with because it unlocks a lot of basic locks early on and allows us access. It makes our lives easier. Tiny Being's Ring does not actually recover your HP slowly. it actually only gives it a 5% boost. The description's wrong. It just gives your HP a 5% boost, and you can get this later on, so don't even worry about that. And the Old Witch's Ring, all that does is open dialogue for an NPC, but adds nothing to the story or the gameplay besides that. So let's go ahead and pick the Master Key. My physique, yeah, I'll go average, why not? Face. I'm gonna go with I'll go with Far East. And oh yeah, gonna make him. Well, here, let's show off all the hairs. I think I'm just gonna go with the first one though. That's my favorite one. These are all just yeah. Let's go receding, baby. Color. We'll make it black. Why not? All right. I don't even want to customize any further. Let's go ahead and get started with this game.
In the age of ancients,
I'll explain the story after this, don't worry.
Shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire. And with fire came disparity. Heat and cold. Life and death.
Takes so long to just explain it.
And of course, light and dark.
Whoa.
Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame.
Those were giants, by the way. This guy's also a giant.
Nito, the first of the dead.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to fight him.
The Witch of Asylum and her daughters of chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten.
Yeah, there's a really weird story with him. It's kind of confusing.
With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone skins. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And seethed the scales.
This motherfucker kind of just throws him in there. So I just explained how the dragons were defeated, but I'll put it into not crazy wait, terms, whatever, words.
Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers.
I'll actually see her a little bit later on.
Man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side.
So there's the opening cutscene. Oh yeah. We've still got a little bit, like another one, and then after that I'll explain what's going on. Because the first time I watched it, I was like, what the fuck? I had no idea. I just knew a bunch of dragons died.
Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north.
Spooky.
Where they are locked away to await the end of the world.
Yeah, I'll explain this shit too. Hey, it's Bry Guy.
This is your fate.
What's he doing in here? Pyromancer's got a pretty sweet outfit, I'm not gonna lie. Oh. Don't worry, we'll see him later. Alright, so here we are. We are at the Northern Undead Asylum. Let me explain the controls real quick. Right bumper is your basic attack, right trigger is a stronger attack, left bumper is your left whatever hand weapon. If you're holding a shield, then you'll block. Left trigger is to like parry. A is to kind of do the action. X uses your item, which is that bottom square on that little 4 square area over there. B, while standing still, steps back, and while running will make you roll. If you hold B, you can run. If you press B again, then you can jump. Like that. Anyway, let's go ahead and pillage this corpse. I think that's all you should know for now. We'll get into the other mechanics later on. But anyway, so the story goes... Oh, these are your basic undead like guys. They're easy and pretty much won't pose a threat at all. So just go ahead and kill all of them and get as many souls as you can, because that is your currency, or it's also your experience too for leveling. These messages just tell you how to do stuff. Anyway, so the story is that the land, or the world, was ruled by giant stone everlasting dragons that lived in giant arch trees, or giant trees called arch trees. They ruled the top of the world, the sky, or the surface of the world. Underneath the surface were a race of giants, which was Gwyn and Nito and the Witch of Izalith and stuff like that. They all discovered flame, like flame appeared, and it like bore the giants. So the giants were created, and they didn't like the dragons ruling the top part. So they went to war against the dragons. And this is all during the Age of the Ancients, or Age of Ancients. All this is going on. So they go to war with the dragons, start getting slaughtered, and then until Seath, who's a scaleless dragon, who's born without scales, was... Here, let me explain this real quick too. So I just activated a bonfire. These are our resting places. They always reset the area when you rest at them and heal your health fully and all that. You do a bunch of things here, like attune magic and, you know, change or upgrade equipment and stuff, but we haven't unlocked those yet. So anyway, let's continue through these giant double doors. But anyway, Seath, the scaleless dragon, betrayed the other dragons by telling Gwyn and all the guys, the giants, that their stone scales were the source of their power. This guy's gonna drop down. It's gonna be our first boss. Let's go ahead and run through this door though, because we are not well equipped for that fight right there. We can activate this other bonfire right here. But anyway, he told them that the source of their power was their immortality was the stone scales. So Gwyn developed lightning bolts or sunlight bolts, whatever, to peel away the scales, while the witches of Izalith burned all the arch trees with their fire, and Nito unleashed the miasma of death that tore at their exposed flesh, the dragon's flesh. And they pretty much came back and whooped some ass. Oh yeah. So we just picked up a shield. Depending on what class you are, you'll have a different shield. I had the... What did I have? I had the cracked round shield, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in my left-hand slot right there. So now you can block if you hold left bumper. And blocking reduces your stamina there. You can actually take damage to your health if you don't have... Depending on the shield's like properties. Now I just picked up a new weapon, and depending on what class you are, this will be a different weapon. So anyways. So that's how the giants won, and they They took over. Gwyn built a kingdom called Anorlando, which means like Lord, or no, he named this place Lordran after the Lord's soul or whatever that they all got, all four of them. And what was I saying? Okay, named it Lordran, blah blah blah. And then the Age of Fire was born during that whole time. So you're gonna want to run up here and then dodge, or just get hit by it anyway. But he's gonna roll a ball down there that you want to dodge. And if you go down here, this is gonna lead us right back to that first bonfire we got to. This is gonna be our kind of the center point for the asylum here that we're at. Let's rest here real quick. All right. Anyway, and that was the Age of Fire, and humans were, but there was one more guy, the furtive pygmy that they mentioned, and he was a small giant. He was a particularly short giant, and from him came the humans. He kindled his flame or whatever to create humans. So that's what his whole story is. Let me talk to this guy, and I'll get right back to it.
Oh, you. You're no Hollow.
Nope.
I'm done for.
This is the guy that tossed the body down with the key on it, by the way. His name is Oscar of Astora.
I wish to ask something of you.
Of
You
the
and
land
I
of
were
Stora.
both undead. Hear me out, will you?
Alright, I'll hear you out, pal.
Regrettably,
You have to hear him
I
out
have
pretty much.
failed in my mission.
So progress this.
But perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen. And thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening.
Yeah, right now we are not in Lordran.
Undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing.
So he's about to give us an item.
Take this.
An Estus Flask, which is pretty much your potion.
An undead favorite.
And undeads can walk around carrying these. And it's pretty much a health potion.
Oh,
it's going to be very vital to our adventure, I'm sure. And he's going to give us an undead asylum
now
key.
I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. And thank you.
No problem, pal. We'll actually end up seeing him a bit later on, too, I think. I don't know, sometimes there's a glitch where he dies right there. But anyway, let's go ahead and head up here and fight this clown. But, so yeah. So, he gave birth to the humans, and then later on down the road, so the humans are building civilizations and worshipping the giants and all that, and then later on down the road, the dark sign showed, just like the fire was born, the dark sign showed, or whatever. And oh, this is a pyromancy flame. If you're a spellcaster or the hunter, this will appear there for you. I'm gonna go ahead and equip it. Now I can cast my fireball spell up there at the top. Oh, there we go. See, I can cast fireball, which is very powerful. Which is another reason why I wanted to start off with the pyromancer. Look at that! Got two of them with one. But I don't want to waste all those. You can replenish those by resting at a bonfire too. So anyways, the dark sign appears and the giants get all scared and they all try and stop the darkness from taking over their lands, and it approaches like a place called Ulasil. Ooh, I just did a backstab, nice. Gwyn sends knights to go and try and stop it to these various places, and the knights all die, and then he starts destroying these lands to try and prevent the dark sign. And it pretty much takes over all this area, and in a last-ditch effort, he goes to the kiln of the first flame, where the flame is lit, and he sacrifices his lord soul to kindle it, or whatever, to prolong the Age of Fire and the Age of the Giants. And then prophecy says that there is an undead that is destined to stop that and usher in the Age of Dark, which is the Age of Humans, or humanity. So that's pretty much what you are. You are the chosen undead who is meant to usher in that. That's essentially what we're doing in a nutshell right now. Anyway, so we're back up here. Right now we have a nice vantage point. If you stay up here too long, he'll jump up and attack you. So let's go ahead and drop down and do a plunging attack on him. It's going to take a considerable amount of health from him. Alright, let's go ahead and lock on. You can lock on by clicking the right thumbstick. I'm playing on the Xbox 360 version, by the way, if you can't already tell. Should have been able to. I'm just going to go ahead and pelt him with fireballs. You can defeat him without fireballs. Just the fireballs are going to make it very easy for me to get this over with. Yeah, take that. If you actually defeat this guy on your first encounter with him, then you can actually get his weapon, which is actually really You can't use it at this low of a level. You won't have enough strength or anything. But anyway, so that's how you defeat that boss. And we just got another key from him, the big Pilgrim's key. That's gonna go ahead and unlock these doors for us right here. Look at that. But anyway, yeah, so the four lords all kind of retreated to their own little areas, and the Witches of Izalith went crazy or something like that and got corrupted and turned into spiders and just like abominations. Nito retreated into the catacombs. There's a item down here, a soul of a lost undead. Basically, using this item just gives you souls. That's what it does. But anyway, let's go ahead and head up to the top here, because that's the only item. Actually, I could show off this real quick since we're here. This nest here is for Snuggly the Crow, and the whole thing with him is that you drop items off and trade with them. It's supposed to say something, it's supposed to talk, but I don't know, whatever. We'll definitely be coming back to her later. Anyway, let's head to the top here and see what happens next.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead...
This is what I was talking about, the chosen undead. It's you. It's us. It's me.
To leave the Undead Asylum in...
Oh yeah, so I gotta explain the Undead Asylum too real quick.
to the land of the ancient lords.
Just say it. Lordran.
Lord.
Alright, so anyway, and then when the Dark Sign appeared, it started appearing on a bunch of humans, like half the human population, who all became undead, who don't need to eat or sleep or whatever, but slowly decay and start to go hollow unless they have souls and humanity from other undead or humans and stuff like that. So the humans, fearing this, sent all the undead, or a bunch of the undead, to the north where that Undead Asylum is, for them to just wait and go hollow, which is what all those other guys were in there, those undead dudes that we were killing. Those were all hollowed people. And here we are at Firelink Shrine. This is going to be like the home base for this entire game. But yep, we're going to get another achievement too. Nice. So we got 3 achievements so far. And here we are at Firelink Shrine. You can level up and kindle bonfires. I'm going to go ahead and just rest here at this bonfire and end this episode now that we're in Firelink Shrine. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and don't forget to possibly subscribe to my channel. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one.